Hi. So there's something going on that I don't know about you guys. Do you get these times where you get in deep thought and it kind of comes to you in the middle of the night in reality where you just wake up. Or you were sleeping real good. But then you just wake up and you just get this rush, this flooding of information that just keeps coming to you. It's like, hey this, hey this, hey this, hey this. But for me, I've been able to like sort of say channel that, and instead of it being scrambling where there's a million different type of ideas that's trying to come to me, that it's just something that I'm able to just dial in and focus on, and I just really start to think a lot about it, get really heavy thinking into it. It's something that was said to me a while ago, and I had to do some of my own research. And I wonder how many of y'all just wake up. I mean, talking the middle of the night. I'm talking midnights, 2 o'clocks, 3 o'clocks, 4 o'clocks, 5 o'clocks in the morning. I'm talking the times that everyone around you is asleep. Maybe not the whole world, but at least the half of the world that you're on and where you're around, they're all asleep. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr., and I was born July 4th, 1986. Today I'm going to talk about something that is just getting spread out there that's starting it just got into me because it just woke me up last night to just have to I got to talk about this. And talking about this is, I'm going to say, probably going to be one of the most controversial things that I think I'm ever going to be talking about and ever going to be saying. That is something that is very, very strong in what I believe and what I know. And what I know is what I know. And it's just been able to upgrade, amplify my life, because I have read this other book that I want to talk about today. And that book is the book of the Quran. And this book, I have a book, I have one, and I've listened to and follow along most of it, but I listened to the entire book. Just like I listened to the entire Bible, I've listened to both of these books. And I was doing this on a mission of trying to figure out what's going on, because I was hurting and I was struggling and I was damaged and I was harming myself, and I was down a very deep path. So I was trying to find anything. I mean, I was talking to Scientologists, I was talking to Jehovah's Witness, I was talking to the Mormons, I was talking to every pastor I could find on every different Christian denomination, from Lutherans to what is that, the Seventh Day Adventists to I was talking to Muslims. I went everywhere and started doing everything. I started going to the astrologists and astrology. I started doing everything. And the only thing that I didn't do was go to like the tarot cards and readings and all that. But it was somewhat similar with going to the path of the astrology and certain things that I was listening to with what they were doing, because they were actually in reality using that tool to be able to say, give me the information that I was looking for in the time. And I noticed that majority of that stuff, where I'm going to say that is stuff that does work, but it's a 10-minute fix. It's not even an hour. It's not a day. It's something to make you feel good for a little bit of time, and then you're right back into the same old thing again. And that's something that I got heavy in the Quran, because I got introduced to a group called the Nation of Islam. And I was just super motivated with how those guys were talking, with what they were explaining and how they did and what they spoke about and everything about them. I got really turned on by their message, because they were just so firm. They were so strong. And they weren't on the whole, we only do the Quran and we only do the Bible. They were actually mixing the two and mixing other things around. And it was very interesting, because both the Quran and the Bible are written very similar in a way. They really start off, especially like really similar. Sorry, I got to check my time. They start off real similar in a way that they are able to kind of give you the same like start and the same foundation of everything that's going on. But there's one thing that I'm going to say that I've just come to really notice, that there's a deviation that happens between both of these books, that I'm going to say that the deviation happens in the Quran, because it starts to go off into a different tangent, where I'm going to say that the God of the Bible, who created Jesus Christ, is not the God of the Quran in any way. They are not one or two of the same. They are nowhere even similar of being the same, and they should never even be talked to as being the same. Then I'm going to 100% reject the Quran, because I know that what it's asking for humans to do is not of what a spiritual, all-knowing God presence would be wanting us to do. It is something that another human being would want us to do. And that's where I'm going to say that that book is influenced and inspired by a human, not inspired of a greater being, but of a human like you and I. and they just started to write and do because of the practices and the things that it's looking for. It's looking for you to do things that the Bible in reality 100% rejects and says that we don't need to worry about. And it makes you do things to make you look a certain way and be a certain way and talk a certain way so that everyone knows who you are. Everyone knows what you're about. Everyone knows where you are. And it has you do things to others that it specifically explains this. And anybody could challenge me and fact check me because I've listened to it, I've researched this, I've studied this, and I know this, and I believe this, and I have a really good understanding of this. And I'm not just some guy that picked the book up and read 2 pages and said, okay, this is just what it is. But what the Quran really does emphasize a lot on is division and destruction. It really does emphasize that God is all about division. He's all about destruction. He's all about, if you don't follow me, you go and kill those that don't believe in me. You go and harm those who don't believe me. And that is not at all what the message of the Bible and who Jesus came here to preach and speak to us about, what it is that we as human beings should be anything about. He preaches the message of what I even said a couple days ago of the fact that if you have haters, you have people that don't like you, have people that don't care about you, you do not go and fight them. You actually just give them. You give to them. If they want to steal everything about you, you give to them. If they want to steal anything, your time, your items, your resource, your everything, you give it to them. Because you know who Jesus is, he's going to give you more, and you don't have to get into a battle with that. But that is not at all what the Quran states. The Quran is stating that if you do not believe in the God that I believe in, you do not believe in him in any way. What is that guy's name? Now I got lost for a moment. Oh, Muhammad, you don't believe in him in any way, then you are to be put to death in reality. And it's not me saying in reality that is straight up what it is. And that's why we are going to see and have seen forever fights, conflict, drama, issues, death, destruction going on in all those countries that all believe in the Quran. Because it's telling you to fight. It's telling you to battle. It's telling you and forcing you in reality that if you do not pray the way that I pray, if you do not pray the times that I pray, if you don't wear the dress that I wear, if you don't grow your hair the way I grow my hair, then you are not me, you are not us, and you are to be put to death because you are going against what it is that we believe. And that is all destruction. That is all of human tendencies of how we are evil and how we are corrupt and how we have drama in our lives. That is what that book is all about. That's what that book entails. And there's something going on today that there's now a new push, a new mission of trying to get more people to start to, they're putting more, say, like celebrities to push the religion of Islam. And I'm going to say that I could see the reasons behind it at first. When you first start to understand it, when you first get your little introductions in, when someone who's trying to, like, say, pull you into it, they're gonna tell you the good stuff. They're gonna tell you the sweet things. They're gonna tell you the things that aren't the real rituals, I'm gonna say, because they have rituals that they do and they have things that they have to pray to. They have items that they hold on to, that they believe so hardly. They have places and locations that they have to go, that they have to make it a mission in their life to go to a specific location, that this book specifically says that you have no choice. You have to make it. You have to go. And the more you go, the better off you go. And the more that you say donate and give to, the more that you're going to get and gain back from. And that is not at all what the Bible states in any sort of way. And that is a message that clearly has gotten thrown off and messed off with a lot of these churches and a lot of these places and a lot of these organizations that preach the Bible on saying that if you don't give to us, then you don't this and you're not going to that. And Jesus doesn't know you. If you don't give and you don't donate and you don't sow your seed into, then hey guys, get out of there. Actually, y'all come over here. That you are not going to know who Jesus is, and you're not going to be able to be saved, and that is also 100% false message. That there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Hey Johnny, that's going on. That is ooh, wow, man, you just got to shake right on me. Johnny, there's a lot of interesting stuff. May, get in your crate, girlfriend. Thank you. Go ahead. You good? Get in your crate. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on that they're trying to get you to go into something that is of absolute destruction, that is of absolute hate, that is not of any sort of love. because Jesus is all about love. He is all about uniting. He is all about bringing people together. He is all about educating you to be able to enjoy and be able to love and be able to cherish and be able to have good gentleness and kindness and joy and peace and forbearance. And he's here to bring all of that to us. He's not here to separate and divide. He's not here to destroy in any sort of way. And that's something that is interesting because I can see it. I can see how when you get more and more, hey Johnny, can you get off me, man? When you get more and more involved in a certain religion, you kind of catch yourself in, I got to get deeper in it because I can't get out. I've met these people, and these people seem to be cool over here, but I can't get out, and I got to just go further and further into it. And then when you go further and further into doing certain rituals, when you go further and further into chanting and praying to the wrong thing, and you get more and more people on this planet that are chanting and praying to the wrong thing, you're going to start shifting the entire world, and the entire world is going to start to be something completely different that's not going to know what is real and what is false. And that is something that is very dangerous that I'm starting to notice. And just something in me last night was just, I got to talk about this, and it just is what it is. Because I know what's been able to help me. I know, Oreo, Crate. I know, Crate, you can't get there from there. Get in there. I know it's been able to help me. I know it's been able to get me into a whole complete different place because I was going down the path of trying to figure each and every single one out. I went to, because it was the book that I read was Dianetics. Albert Green, something. I can't remember that guy. Hubbard. I read that book trying to figure out what more about that. I've gone through all of this stuff, and I've studied and researched all this stuff. And there's only one thing that's been able to help me solve the issues that I was having, and that is Jesus Christ. And that is the only way that I've been able to amplify and upgrade my life to be able to do what it is that I do today, be able to speak and be able to be and have and create and have more and more of these creative ideas and passions come out of me and want to work on and want to do and want to make happen instead of worrying about all these worldly things out here, but actually starting to create something from nothing and be able to manifest things from nothing. And be able to have the excitement and the joy to be able to wake up and want to just keep on working and keep on going and keep on making stuff happen and keep on trying to better myself and keep on trying to better other people around me and keep on trying to spread the message to other people about how great this is. And that's something for me right now that I got to spread that even more of how great this Bible really is, how great Jesus really is, how great the God of this planet that created this planet is, how wonderful that he is, that he's made it simple for us that we no longer have to do these rituals. We no longer have these items that we have to pray to. We no longer have these things we have to do and continue to keep doing so that we can be able to be a part of and be in the presence of who God is. That in the Quran, there's things you got to do. You're not saved by faith. You're not living by faith. You're not living by the understanding of faith in any sort of way. You're living by the works that you do. And if you do bad works, you're a bad person. And if that's the way that you're going to try to live on this planet, you're never going to succeed. You're always going to fail. And you're always going to have in your mind that I'm no good, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not there enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not able to perform enough. You're always going to run into that issue because you're not a perfect human being. And the book is basically stating that you are a perfect human being and you should be doing that because that's how you're going to be able to get to God. That's how you're going to be able to get to Allah. That's how you're going to be able to be in his good graces by doing good works and doing works and staying firm with all your works. Staying by your eating, staying by your praying all day and every single, your specific which way, your specific layout, your specific absolute, your same chants that you have to keep on chanting the same thing to, that you're not a unique individual anymore with that. You are being a programmed robot to do the same thing that everybody else is doing. And that is not at all what God is all about because he created uniqueness for everything out here. Look at this world to see two trees are the same, two animals of the same, two human beings of the same, two anything of the same. There's nothing two of the same at all. Even things that we manufacture, they're not the same. Both vehicles that come off the lot 2 minutes behind each other are not the same. There's a slight difference between both. And there's going to be a slight difference for the remainder of its life that it's on this planet. Everything is like that. It is extremely unique. But that book wants everyone to be exactly the same. And that is 100% of what a human being is inspiring and as a human being is wanting. And that's why I'm going to say that the Quran is a non-living, it's a dead book. It's a book made from human that is not alive. The Bible is a living book that is alive. And one thing that I could put as a matter of fact and fact on top of that to say with that, because this is something that a lot of people are going to say to me, Mark, you don't understand the Quran because you don't understand it in its language. You don't speak Arabic. Only reading it in Arabic, you're going to understand the true potential of what it actually is. And if that's what you say to me, then I know for a 100% fact that that book is dead. It's not alive. Because the Bible, I don't care what language I put it in. I don't care what translation that I get. I don't care what any which way with it. I don't care if it's in Braille. I don't care. They all give the exact same message. That is a 100% living, alive book on this planet. That is a book that everyone should really get your hands on. It doesn't matter what, because I've got 12 or 13 or 14 different variations of this Bible, that every single one explains the exact same message. It's the same message of Jesus, the same message of how he saved us, the same message of how we live by faith and how we live by grace. It preaches that exact same message. But this Quran, if you're telling me that because it's in English that I can't understand it and I don't get it, and if it's in Spanish, if it's in Japanese, if it's in Mandarin, if it's in any other language that we don't understand it other than it only being in Arabic, that is false. That is not real. That is not of anything inspired by God in any way. That is inspired by a human being man that has no backing behind him or her to be able to really get the message out there. That that's the main thing, because both books go through the same beginnings and separating of all the people, giving all the people a different language. So if everyone already had a different language, why is it that only one specific language with one specific group of people that knew that one specific language are the only people that can possibly understand this book? That's not a living book in any way. The Bible is a 100% living book. And with that, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, God, for allowing me to be able to keep continuing doing what I'm doing. That sometimes I get in my, I don't think I'm sleeping enough, but then you show me that I'm good to go. You give me the time I need, you give me the rest I need, and you wake me up in the times of the night that I need to be awake to be able to do the prayers and be able to do the asking and be able to get the information that I need. That majority of the time when Jesus was out praying, when Jesus was out trying to get more information, when Jesus was trying to get closer and closer to God to try to get more understanding, it's when everybody was asleep. There's many stories that Jesus goes out and he's out in the moonlight. There's many stories when he comes back, the people are still asleep. When he left, they were asleep. There's many times that he's doing that. And there's something spiritual, there's something strong about being around and being in the presence of when everyone is asleep, that you're able to hear and be able to get the information of what God is trying to explain to us and be trying to hear to us. That when you wake up at night, when something wakes you up at night, when anything happens, it's time for you to pray. It's time for you to say, hey, God, hey, Jesus, what you need? Because right now is the time that I don't know what's going on and I need you, because if I'm feeling even restless and I'm feeling just a little anxious because I can't sleep, that's the 100% time to start praying. That's the 100% time to start really listening to what's going on, to figure out what it is and where it is that you should be going on this planet. And what it is that you're doing and what it is that you should start working on and start fixing with yourself. That information is going to start coming to you when you just start praying and asking at that time. That is not the time. That is not the hour of the enemy. That is a lie. That is a lie that has been manipulated to us our entire lives with movies and plays and dramas and shows that says that the nighttime is when the dead, the vampires, and everything is out and creeping and doing and moving. And that is not true. That they are up during the day. They're moving during the day. They're alive during the day so they can see, so that they can get around, so they can do what they got to do. God is all seeing. God is all knowing. God is all around. He doesn't need the daytime to be able to do his work. And majority of his work was done at night. And he created most of what he created at night. He created most of everything in the absolute darkness. And in reality, he created this entire world in the darkness. He didn't need the sun to create it because he created and then he put the sun out there. So there's something about that is just very, very powerful. And when Jesus is being a person of making sure that he's praying more and praying the most and digging deep, his hardest, when he's, for one, by himself. There's a lot that he's by himself. He's just out by himself. He's doing what he's doing. He's not around people. He's making happen what he needs to make happen. And two, he's doing it at nighttime. He's doing it in the middle of the night while everyone is resting, while everybody is sleeping. And then there's even many times that he said, "Hey, you guys are still sleeping? Like, come on, let's get up. We gotta pray. We gotta make something happen." That he comes back and the people say, "We'll stay awake and we'll stay awake." Especially a lot of stories with his prophets that we're awake, and then he goes and he comes back and they're asleep. And he's like, "Man, y'all sleeping." You're skipping out on the times right now. You're skipping out on the good times. You're skipping out on the good downloads right now. You're skipping out on all the good information. And when you're awake, it's time for you to start to accept that information. It's not try to look at that as some sort of evil, some sort of negative presence is coming to you, but some sort of greatness is going to start to come to you. Some great ideas and some great creativity is going to start to come to you. And that's something that is just extremely powerful. It's something that is just wonderful. And man, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, God, for being able to allow me to be able to have this information, to be able to put out there for someone else to be able to listen to and be able to hear, because someone else is struggling just as much as I was struggling. And I was struggling so much that I had to go real far and real deep. And I mean, I went deep and I went far, and I still research and study excessively, that I just can't get away from it, can't get out of it. And it's something that is just, I want to be able to share the information that I've been able to, and not only just that, but be able to share what's happened to me, what's gone down with me, what changes and transformations happened with me, what information led me to be able to do what it is that I do without having this fear of worry and anxious and sabotage and worrying about people slandering me, worrying about anything. That I could just move on and just say, hey, here I am. This is what I'm doing. And if you want to be ruthless to me, cool, keep doing it, and watch how I'm going to keep on still cruising and keep going without having any delays in reality. I may have a little hiccup, but it's going to be 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'm right back going to doing what it is that I need to do. And the only thing that's been able to do that is Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is this Bible. When I started reading it, started getting a good understanding of it, started to study it more, started to believe it more for one. I put more belief into it because I started to see little things and started to transform in my life. I started to practice more of what it was telling me to do. When I would wake up at night and it was just saying, hey, Mark, maybe you should stop drinking. And I was like, all right, let's do that. And I was like, and then the main thing was, you get it started and I'll help you. And I said, I'll start that. And you helped me. And that's exactly what happened. And then certain other things started to come to me and started to say to me, stop worrying about what other people have and what other people are doing. Do what you got to do. And I said, okay, I can start that. And I started that. And now he's finishing it off for me. He's making it happen in a way that I don't have to worry so much, and I don't have to struggle, and I don't have to stress with it so much. And every single situation and instance that's ever happened to me, it's always been able to follow through by calling upon the name of Jesus to be able to help me get through some things. And the Quran has never, ever once been able to help me other than frustrate me, irritate me, put me more in rage, get me more just irritated to the point of absolute destruction. And that is what in reality comes from the information that you're trying to seek from another human being, as opposed to information that comes inspired from a human being through God. And that's the power of what the Bible is, being alive. That, once again, I don't care what translation it's in. I don't care what version you get. The same message is being preached. And that's something that is powerful to me. Thank you.